Well, welcome to the Sunday show, Shit Talking Sunday, which, my more religious friends out there probably don't appreciate as much as I do. But I want to talk today about something that's come up repeatedly, and that is, come on, thing, I'm trying to make this go away, and that is the issue with how men interrupt and interject themselves into women's life and have um, this belief that it's their right to do so. That we, should always see this kind of behavior as a compliment. And I was like, what in the world are they thinking? They don't understand how much they bug the fuck out of people with all of that. It's like you can't go nowhere. Because here they are, all up in your, all up in your Kool-Aid. So, what I wanted to do, let's wait until a few more people come up in here. Um, this topic came about because the other day, there's this medical office that I go to frequently. One of my clients has an office in there. She's a therapist, and I do some promotional work for her, write up brochures and flyers and stuff like that. So, I see the security guard guy, like, a couple of times a month, not, often enough. And so I go, get out my car and I start walking to the building and I'm yawning, right? And so then he, walks up to me and I noticed he was like walking very close. He like, was just too close. So I stopped and the next thing he comes around because like I said, I was yawning. And he, puts his arm around me. He's patting me like this, like, that's okay. So I step back and I'm like, sir, I don't know you like that. So what were you doing thinking that you had the right to put your hands on me? And he's like, well, I was just trying to be friendly. I'm like, you don't be friendly to people who are complete strangers like that. I mean, I tried, I'm trying to be polite to you and stuff like that, but that doesn't give you the right to put your hands on me or to get all in my space like you just did. So don't do that again. So, it's like, it wasn't like he touched me, in any like intimate areas or anything like that, but it was just overly familiar. It was too, it just violated my boundaries and I didn't like it. And so I told him, and I could see him get kind of an attitude about it. But, the bottom line is who gives a shit? This is about me. It's not about your, how you feel about um, what I had to say. So what I wanted to do, because God, it's like, I forgot this, the game is on. And a lot of people are probably watching that. And plus on the East Coast, it's probably dinner time. Oh, well, bad timing on my part. But what I wanted to do before we get too far into this is show you a clip um, from, there's this show, I don't know who produces it, but it's called Ask a Black Man. And I was looking around and looking at stuff on street harassment and how, black men interject themselves in your lives and why they do that, right? And I just happened to come across this show that they did. And then this is a small, little clip, a little 3-clip series of some things I thought were important highlights from that conversation. So it's about, I don't know, maybe a minute in total, a minute and a half in total. But I'd like to let you see this. All right? Let me see. How do I do this? Hold on a second. All right.
Young lady is walking down the street and she going to the bank or to the laundromat, wherever that's where she's going. She's not doing it for you. And if she looks good, she looks good because she's a good-looking girl. And yeah, women like to look good for us, but they also like to look good for themselves. It does not, she should be her own autonomous person. She does, just her existing and walking down the street doesn't give you the right to holler at her, to talk to her, enough to that man's gaze.
One dynamic I like you to think about is that women spend hundreds of dollars to look really good.
Yeah, they do.
And I have a problem that when you look really good, you have a problem with people complimenting, approaching, or coming to you because you look really good. And as a hunter, I'm gonna hunt. Where you at, I'm coming.
Gorgeous. It takes her 2.5 hours to get dressed every day. She wears tight clothes. She wears tight clothes because it makes her feel good. She's like very feminine. She's like, I like to feel feminine. Tight clothes feel like a hug on me. This is how I like to look. I like to look beautiful for me, and I like to look beautiful for you. Nobody else. That's who she does it for. She does it for herself first, and for me second, not for any other nigga in the street. Right. So when she's walking down the street and she flashes that ring, she says she's married, and you leave her alone. Now my wife literally, she can't. No, it's not gonna happen. And it's mess, and it bothers me, yo. So my wife, she can't even leave. She can't even leave the house. Yeah, it bothers me that people don't respect the fact that she
compliment.
No, don't compliment my wife. If she tell you she married, she's not there for you. No, real talk. It's not for your gays. Every woman is not for all of us.
Now
she's not for you. You know what I mean? She's not for you. She's for me, and she's for herself.
So you're saying,
let me finish with telling you. What happens. So literally, she can't walk down the street by herself. She literally can't walk down the street by herself. There's been times that I've been on the phone with her. I've been on FaceTime, have niggas getting her camera. People touching her. She was in the airport. She has her sleeve. Touched her. Touched her.
Into this,
no, I have to put this energy into because it's my wife and it's her safety and it's about violence. There have been times when men followed my wife down the street. There was times she was waiting for the bus and she had to get on the phone with me because there were guys sitting across from her, and you laughing, but this shit scares her. As a woman, as a wife, was my wife who was a woman who has been sexually abused and has been doing these things. And let me tell you, 90, and I'm gonna tell you, so hold on, let me tell you something. I'm gonna say about 85% of the black women I know have experienced some type of sexual violence or some type of something dealing with men. These things give them anxiety. It makes them afraid. She literally is afraid. That shit is not cool. Just because. And the thing is that white niggas act like they ain't never seen a good-looking girl before.
Let him jump on it. Let him jump on this.
Now I wanted you guys to see that because I wanted you to hear from their lips the sense of entitlement that they have because they are attracted to you because they think that you look good and that you magically look good because of them, or you trying to get their attention. Narcissistic fucktards. Okay, and then did you notice the snide, sneering, ridiculing remarks they gave to the brother who was, out of all the men there, the ones that are married, they ain't shit. And I'm sure that women will be like, oh, I have a good man. He's a good man. No. If your man ridicules and laughs in the face of another man who is earnestly trying to get these guys to understand the damage that they're doing to women, and his goal is to get them to understand how they're hurting the women and how they're triggering the women, and how his goal in saying what he was saying was to protect his wife. Those motherfuckers are trifling as hell. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. All of them, except for the one little young dude sitting on the side. Sitting up there laughing and joking and saying, man, you doing too much. You doing the most. You just, like it was something really wrong with him because of, the approach that he was taking, trying to protect his wife. I was in shock, just in utter shock. I couldn't believe it. I'm thinking my chin. Okay. Did you notice that? Yeah, the 44 years old is whatever. Well, that might be why. I don't know. But I'm just saying, whether it is or not, out of all the men that were there, none of them, except for that one guy, even understood what he was trying to say or was even trying to understand what he was trying to say. You see what I'm saying? That was some amazing bullshit. Well, I don't know that. We don't know that, and that really is irrelevant to this conversation. Stephanie O is irrelevant, so don't be coming up there and saying stuff like that. That's not the point of the show, and everybody don't go into that avenue. Don't go into that, question that, or anything, because that don't have shit to do with what we're talking about here, which is the response of the men that were on that panel. Okay, so you trying to say it's because of this and that? No, it's because there's some fucking niggas. That's what it's because of. I don't care about all that other stuff. It's fucking irrelevant to what we're talking about. So anybody who says he starts talking about that, I'm booting your ass out the chat. That's not the point of this. Don't even go down that road. We are talking about the niggas and how they were acting about women being triggered and being sexually abused. The volume's not high enough? Let me see if I can do that. Something about that. Yeah, they don't care. I'm trying to figure out how to get in here and increase my volume. Let's see. Audio. Audio. I'm looking, trying to figure out what to do to make it be louder. You know, I never could figure out what happened to my sounds, because the whole thing just got janky all of a sudden. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at all the settings. They look fine. Um, I don't know. You can hear me perfectly fine. All right, well then I'm gonna just leave it the way that it is then, because I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, my main point in all of this conversation that we just had is that you know, I think that with the stories that the women have told all over the internet, this is a pattern of men, and it seems to be primarily focused on women of color. Now, let me go into some notes I have here. All right, yeah, the volume, I don't know why her volume is low, but I looked at all my settings, they look right. Okay, now let me tell you about something I found online. Okay, so this is a story. This one woman puts this comment up on my YouTube wall. And it says, this is exactly why women ignore men, but then they get abusive if we ignore them. I was at the gym and I did everything I could to avoid eye contact. I yawned and he used that as his opportunity to move in. All right, don't do that now. Too much partying. He just had to say something. It's so obnoxious. Someone told me that it would stop as I got older. I'm 40 now and it's the same thing. The harassment has yet to subside. It's worse from the younger men. I try to avoid eye contact, which is sometimes impossible. That's true. It's like they try to position themselves where you can see them. They get in your field of view. So you have to constantly, you changing, you put on your sunglasses, you put on headphones, you pull out a book. You have to do all of this stuff to let them know that you're not interested in looking at them, paying them any attention, acknowledging them, recognizing them in any way. There's two volumes. There's your system volume, your settings in your control panel. And there's also the volume that's here if you have a PC at the bottom of your screen. Make sure that your volume on your control panel is set to max, and then you can control it here better. That's the problem some people have. And then here's another woman. She says, when I was in my 20s, I got approached by men who were way too old for my taste, 10 plus years older. Now that I'm in my 30s, I still get approached by men who are way too old for my liking. It seems like men my age, whether I'm in my 20s or 30s, seem to always be going for much younger women. What the hell am I supposed to do? And then she just posing that question. And it's like these guys think that if you even just look in their direction, that they are, that you have some interest in them. And it's amazing. It's just unbelievable. So basically what these dudes are, they call them attention whores. They're attention whores. They feel like they have got to get your attention no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're trying to, what your goal is, what you work in. You're trying to get to your car. You're trying to get to your job. You got an appointment. They insist on interjecting themselves into your space and into your life. So now there's basically, do you understand there's like two kinds of attention whores? Two kinds. Probably more than that, but we'll work with these two. There's the kind that really needs attention because, like, they're lonely, they feel um, ignored. Like sometimes little kids, they come up to you and they look really sad and they want to get in your lap and this and that. Okay, they're asking for attention. Um, somebody who comes and they just like you lean on you with a hug or whatever. These are people that you know and love, though. They're looking for attention. They need to sit down and talk to you or whatever. They want some attention from you. Okay, that's a different kind. That's the healthy kind in a relationship where you have agreed to give each other your attention. Then there's that second kind. That kind that wants your attention because it's about their ego, a narcissistic ego boost for them, where they feel like you're paying attention to them because they're all that, and that's your job, and that's what you're supposed to do because you're either a woman or you're their neighbor, or you have some connection to them, no matter how vague it is, but they feel like they are entitled to your time and attention. They really think that the world revolves around them. And so these are the guys who, like, if they ask you for your number or they ask you for a dance, or they ask you for something, some kind of, hey, Miss Lady, can I talk to you? And you say no, it's a violation of their narcissistic ego entitlement, and they fly into a rage, just like a 1-year-old. They get that upset because you're not giving them what they want. So, what can you do? Okay, let's talk about these attention whore men. I found this study that was really interesting. Now it was done in May of, what's this year? This is last year, May of last year, 2017. This international research group and a UN, the UN Women, did a study, and it was in 4 areas in the Middle East. It covered Egypt, Lebanon, Morocco, and some Palestinian territories. Okay. And the co-author is quoted as saying, "We know quite a lot about women and girls in this issue, but relatively little about men and boys." And when you think about it, that's true. The studies are always done on women's reaction to the street harassment and to men groping them and fondling them and stalking them and this and that. But very rarely do they actually sit down and ask the men, well, why the fuck do you do that shit? They don't ask them. But this study did, and I thought this was great. So I wanted to share it with you. Of course, women from all over the world have talked about street harassment and or violence on the street. And it says the U.S. isn't immune. 65% of 2,000 women surveyed said they had experienced street harassment. This was a 2014 study. Now, had they gone into the black community, they would have got 100% responses on who has been experienced street harassment. Because there's no black woman I met who associates with black men, whether peripherally or in where she lives, who has not experienced being harassed by niggas. They just really feel entitled. Don't have time for the dusties? Well, I don't want to have time for them, but they just try to make you have time for them. Now, the study was really interesting because they found that men who finished high school or college, they thought, would have a more enlightened attitude towards women than men who only had no schooling, only went to like elementary school or whatever. And they feel like that is part of what's contributing to the male behavior because they're unemployed. A lot of these dudes live in these areas of political instability. There's lots of wars and conflict and things, people disappearing, so their lives are kind of shaky. There's not a lot of security there. So when you don't have security as far as your life, you don't have security as far as your wallet, where you're going to live, are you going to have a house, is somebody going to be disappeared, what's going to happen, there's a lot of stress. They feel a lot of shame, and they feel a lot of pressure and depression because of these external situations. So those researchers said, well, these young men have high aspirations for themselves and they aren't able to meet them, so they harass women to put them in their place. They feel like the world owes them. Okay, so like I said, this study was done in Morocco, Lebanon, Palestinian regions, and Egypt, so not the United States. However, that particular phrase, have high aspirations for themselves and aren't able to meet them, so they harass women to put them in their place, they feel like the world owes them, applies 100% to niggas. 100%. I know they didn't They didn't ask, they didn't focus on black women, but I'm telling you, had they done a study with just black women, that's exactly what they would have got. 100% of the respondents would have said they've experienced at least one, most of us hundreds, of harassing activities at the hands of men. Now, when they interviewed these men, now this is where it gets really interesting. Well, they like anybody. They harass anybody. They harass little girls. Okay, little flat-chested little school girls. Okay, they harass them too. So it's not even, we can't even say. I mean, they harass skinny women, fat women, older women, teenage girls, middle school students. It doesn't matter what you look like. I mean, that might draw out certain men, but the fact is that you're going to be harassed if you around niggas, and it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. They're going to have something to say to you that's going to be inappropriate, that violates your boundaries, that gets in your space, and it gets on your fucking nerves. It's like they don't want to, you made sure you worked with males because it was you and a female, you would request police presence. I know that's right. There's just something wrong with them. Okay, so then they ask these guys, why do you do this? Why do you do this? This is the summary of the co-author of this survey. The harassment is also a way for young men to, quote, get their kicks, says El Feki. When the men in the survey were asked why they sexually harass women in public, the vast majority, up to 90%, said they did it for fun and excitement. Are you hearing me? They think that the shit that they do that makes you scared, that triggers women who have been victims of sexual assault or child molestation, who have been attacked by men in domestic violence situations, a woman who's just walking down the street trying to mind her own goddamn business, not tripping with you, not looking at you, don't want nothing to do with you. They feel like because to harass you and make you scared is fun and exciting. So I say niggas ain't shit. Okay, but see, so for us from the women's side, it's not fun. It's the nightmare. It's like the shit that nightmares are made of. Yeah, 9 years old. That's what I'm saying. So people have this vision that, it's because you got a fat ass and you got a nice shape and you dress nice. They go after little kids, flat-chested little girls. I'm telling you, these dudes are perverts. It doesn't really have anything to do with it. It's in their head. Okay, so then they say this woman, Carly Curl, who's the executive director for Stop Street Harassment, says she's not surprised by those Middle Eastern results. I've seen that reasoning before in other studies. Quote, I'm bored. I'm bonding with my male friends. We're just having fun. And she says none of the men are thinking about how the women are feeling. And that is very true. Yeah, everybody, a lot of women are afraid of guns, though. They're afraid of them, and I'm thinking, now you shouldn't be afraid of a gun. You should be scared of a nigga. That's what you should be scared of, because they're the ones who are doing this kind of stuff to you. Yeah, they're like always so fucking thirsty. It's like they act like they've never seen a good-looking woman before, or any woman, any female. Like I said, it doesn't have to even that she's even so pretty. They just want to just, holler. It's just their ego boosted. If you're a narcissist, you're looking for reinforcement of your ego from any source, no matter what it is. So that's what they're looking for. So, it's to the point where as a woman, you can't even try to be polite. They complain about that too. You try to be polite and just, say, well, good morning, or, something just to be civil, like, people who grew up in the South. I mean, that's a normal thing, but you can't do that with niggas no more, because as soon as you do that, they're gonna make a Yui and come on, so what you doing? Where you going? Can I walk with you? How about I get them digits so I can call, text you later? Okay, all I said was good morning. I'm not interested in you, sir. I don't want nothing to do with you. I want you to keep going the direction that you was going. And it's like they just don't fucking get it, or they don't want to get it. They want to feel like the guy in that clip I showed you, that, that you should be flattered that he's paying attention to you. Like his attention is so fucking magical. It's gonna put money in your wallet, in your bank account. It's gonna give you all kind of advanced degrees. It's gonna bring some benefit to you because he decides that you should feel flattered at him saying some shit to you that you didn't want him to say in the first place. See, this is what drives me crazy about them. Oh yeah, they still. Yeah, they're covered up, but that doesn't mean anything because in city, some countries like that, what I found is, like look at what's the name of that country? All of a sudden it went off my mind, where they have the little boys that dress like women and dance for the men and stuff. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, it's like a practice. It's a known practice. And the reason is because there's no women on the streets. Women are invisible because men are so fucking doggish and thirsty. The women are afraid to go out. They're wearing the burqas and everything and rushing everywhere that they have to go, or they go with a male escort just so they won't be harassed. So there's no women around for the men to even talk to or look at other than the women that's in their families. And so in order to have somebody to dance with and flirt with and do all this stuff, they have these adolescent boys dressed up as women with makeup on and dresses and dancing and doing all kind of stuff. No, it starts with a T. Or is it an I? I don't know, but the practice is called bacha something. You can probably find it on YouTube. My mind is, I'm doing too many thoughts at one time. No, it's not Pakistan. Afghanistan, there you go. It's in Afghanistan. It's a long-held tradition there. It's like there's no shame really to it. I mean, it's supposed to be illegal for them to, to have relations with the boys, but it happens all the time anyway. Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's all kind of videos online you can see about it. I mean, they recruit the boys. They look for boys who are poor and who they, will give them money and stuff and help their families and so these boys it's Afghanistan. I have to tell you, this is true. This is reality of the world that we live in. So in Afghanistan, you don't see many women on the street. Bacha bazi, that's it. I knew the first part, bacha, but I couldn't remember the last part. Bacha bazi. And it's crazy. It's Afghanistan. So, and I'm sure they do it in other places as well, but maybe call it something else. But, the practice of boys dressing up like women and, having relations with these men who then go home to their wives is a common thing. So what I'm saying is these men have oh yeah, you never heard of that? Oh honey, but see, that's what I tell you, Deb reads everything. I read everything and then I go see if there's a video about it. And when I was first reading about this, in some book I was reading, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, it's never gonna come here. Don't even worry about that. We're gonna be having Buddhism because from all the Chinese is gonna take over before we have that. Before Muslims take over. Okay, so this bonding, I'm bored. I'm bonding with my male friends. We're just having fun. All right. So I hope everybody, saw the clip I played at the beginning of the show. It was a little brief clip from an Ask a Black Man discussion where they were talking about, how these guys feel like they just have a right to go and just interject themselves into women's spaces. So what is the reason? Why do they do that? Why do they feel like they have the right? It's about power. I keep telling you guys, every single interaction that you have with a man, be on the lookout for him to try to dominate and control you because that's all they do. That's all they want to do. Yeah, the book called The Kite Runner, exactly. That was one of the books I read, but it was something else I was reading. I don't know. So, it's about power and control. I mean, every single thing they do. Today I was talking to one of my neighbors. Let's check this shit out. Okay, she'd been married to this man. Okay, my neighbor is a friend of hers, not my neighbor. She went to visit a friend of hers in another state. And so she's like, the people, the man's car is not working right. So he takes his wife's car and goes off. He's retired now, so he don't have no place to go really. So he takes the wife's car and goes off somewhere, leaving my neighbor and her friend stranded at the house. So my friend calls up Hertz Rent a Car, tells them she needs a car delivered. They bring the car, her and her friend get in the car and they drive off. Now see, his wife doesn't have those kind of resources. My neighbor does. So they all about their business, went to lunch and did all this other stuff. And the dude was mad because see, his game was to get control by keeping them locked in the house. So then when he finds out they gone, then he goes and talks about, well, what, when are you coming home to cook? Nigga, eat some Popeyes. Don't nobody cooking for you. But the woman, she wants to leave. She wants to go and cook for her husband. He wants to tell her what time to be home, that she needs to cook, that, they had this big-ass house with only the two of them in it, and that she has to keep the house clean and all that stuff, a 6-bedroom home for 2 people. Who needs that? I mean, I could have a 6-bedroom home and it'll just be some of my activities going on in each room. I'd have a sewing room. I'd have a video room. I'd have a painting and drawing room. I have so many hobbies and interests. I'd have a writing room, a web design room. That's how I would do it if it was me. But, most people don't have all those different things going on like that. They maybe have, a couple. But thinking about this, the power that these guys are trying to exert over you. And a lot of times they they can see the fear in your face. I mean, a woman's body language changes when she's frightened, right? She gets the round shoulders hunched, like this. She starts looking down. That's like a physical shield for the center of your body, that with your tender underbelly, you're trying to hide it from this guy. You're trying to protect yourself. That's what you're trying to do. And any man who knows anything would see that kind of posture and know, okay, this woman is not really feeling me. She's scared. Let me leave her alone. Instead, they up the ante. They want to get close to you. Yeah, Ma, this and that. And they start talking at you, even saying foul stuff in your ear. So when you have this kind of thing going on and you see it, like white dudes will catcall and they'll, holler and, whistle and all this other shit. But only niggas want to get all up on you and, touch you and all this kind of stuff. Men of color seem to have that really bad. And, you hear these stories about the white guys, doing this assaults and stuff, these millionaire dudes that's all in the news and stuff now. But they seem like a minority compared to what we deal with on a daily basis from all numbers of black and brown men, not just millionaire ones. You see what I'm saying? So when you think about every woman has a story like that. Every woman I know has a story like that. Thank you, Lady Boss. Every woman has a story like that. And you got to look at it when why are these guys doing it? Because their sense of masculinity is so fragile that they need to make you feel intimidated and frightened so that they feel powerful and manly. It's the sickest shit. I'm telling you, it's just really sick. That's why I'm working on a project right now. And if you know a guy that you think he has his shit together that would have something positive and informative to say, on the community wall here and on my Facebook page is a list of 4 questions I'm asking men about masculinity and manhood. And I'm asking them to make a video, film themselves, make a video clip of themselves talking about their lessons and what they learned about manhood, and to share it with younger guys. How do you be a man? Because these dudes don't know. They have no clue. And I think a lot of the older guys that are successful men and successful fathers and have their shit together, know how to treat women, would have something very valuable to say. And that's why I'm doing this project. So I'm looking for men willing to speak on camera about the lessons they learned from manhood, what they think makes a male a man, and to record it and to email it to me at survivingdating@gmail.com. Okay? So when you look at this, there's like, how are we supposed to defend ourselves from unwanted advances? It's like you can't. It's like you can't really, you can defend themselves if they get, touch you or something. But just words, there's not much you can do about that other than stuff your ears, so you don't hear it. And you feel like, women, like I said, if a woman is a survivor of any kind of sexual violence or harassment or child molestation and stuff like that in her youth, she is going to, that's going to be a traumatic situation for her. She's going to get triggered by that, especially if they start saying some foul and funky, inappropriately sexual things to her. And it makes you feel unsafe. It makes you feel overly vulnerable, and it makes you, some women even will stop like going out their house and stuff because it's just too risky. They don't want to go, especially those that don't have a car. You have to be on public transportation. That's where they get you the most, standing at bus stops and on trains and buses. This last year I had to get my transmission replaced, so I was without my car for 2 weeks. Worst 2 weeks of my life, because I had to take the bus and BART and stuff. Oh my God, I thought I was gonna die. And it's like, on the buses, these old ass, fat ass, ugly ass men, probably diabetic and got every other kind of thing going on. And I'm on the bus, I like to sit on those side seats sometimes, so I want to be able to see. I want to be able to see behind me. I want to be able to see in front of me and to the side of me. So I sit on the side seats so I have that wide view. If you sit on those back seats, you can't see what's going on behind you. See, I don't like that. I like to sit on I want to see everything. And so I'm sitting on the side seat, my usual position, posted up, chink, 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 looking. And this old dude comes, he sits on the seat across from me. Now, it's 800 empty seats, but this motherfucker got to sit directly across from me. I'm like, okay, here we go. And he just keeps staring, right? He's staring like this. Just waiting for me to look up and, catch his eye. So finally, I'm like, okay, let's just get this shit over with. So I look up from my book I was reading. I look up and I look dead in his face. And he's like, hi. And I just looked at him and went back to getting into my book. So then he's like, you can't speak? I said, I don't want to speak. That's why I didn't say shit to you before when you were staring at me like your eyes about to fucking fall out your head. Leave me alone, motherfucker. I'm just trying to read my book. I'm really not trying to talk to nobody. And that was that. But see, the people, there was like some young brothers on the back part of the bus, and they started laughing at dude. And then he got off at the next stop. But it's like, I don't know. Something just flew into my body and I just went off. And I just got sick of him. It's just leave me alone. And it's like this white boy too. I'm on BART. This white boy come walking by. All the white women on the thing, everybody got their after work, business face on and stuff, out of meetings, whatever. It was about 4:00 in the afternoon. So everybody, the commute's just starting, right? So people on there, they tired, they've been wherever they've been all day, kids on the bus coming home from school, all the stuff. So everybody's, at the end of their day, he gonna pass all them white people, males and females, Asians, everybody, and I'm the only black person on the whole fucking BART car. He stops right in front of me, this is a white boy, and tells me, smile. I said, no, motherfucker, I'm not gonna smile. And he's like, why? But you're so pretty. You should smile. I said, I decide what to do with my goddamn face, not you. And so he took his ass on to the next BART car. And you know how people be talking when I said, no, motherfucker, everybody got quiet. Because they probably thought, oh, no, she going to jump up and beat the shit out of this boy. But it's like, I just get sick of men. Leave women alone. Go somewhere. Do something with yourself. Don't you have hobbies? Don't you have something to do with yourself? And just, the racial aspect of all that. Because, like I said, he going to pass. He walked from the other end of the car. I was near the end here on my famous side seat. So it's only 2 or 3 more seats, and then you go out the door to the next car, right? He come all the way down that car, passing all the white people to get right in front of me and commanding me that I smile because he said so. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not smiling. What you think? I'm some kind of dancing darky or some shit? Oh, that just pissed me off. Like, you just don't even know how mad I got. I'm like, he's lucky. That's all I said about him, because I could have just read his ass for a week. But I'm like, let me just shut up. I said what I said. He left, and that was all that was required. But they just get on my nerves. Okay, so what can you do if you looking at these dudes and you trying to figure out, the next time someone does that to me, I promise myself that I'm going to ask them if what they do actually works. I want to know if they get women and what kind of women they are. I saw a video, I don't know, a couple of years ago by one of those street harassment organizations. I interviewed her when I was on my when I had my blog talk show. And they had some video. And they showed this guy, a little funny looking he did just look dusty. He looked dusty, and this was before I even started calling people dusties. And he just looked like he needed to be hosed off. That's what he looked like. So he's on there hollering at up and down the street at all the women, just all excited because he just getting on everybody's nerve. So they asked him, has this ever worked? Have you ever, met somebody this way? And he said no. But, I'm going to keep trying, though. I'm going to keep trying. Okay, so how many years have you been doing this? Like 4 or 5 years. And all these years, you ain't nobody ever giving you their number. Now, if you saw this dude, you would know why. It's like he couldn't pay nobody for their phone number. And he just, like I say, he just looked like he needed to be soaped down and hosed off. He just looked dusty. But even still, I mean, it's like, okay, if you're a woman and some dude come approaching you on the street like that, what is it that would make you respond to him? What would be the thing that would make you want to give that guy your number? Some dude who ran up to you on the street and he does this shit to like 50 women a day. Why would you take him seriously? Why would you give him your phone number so he could call and harass you with that dumbass shit that he does? What would be going on in your head? I've always wanted to know that from women too, because I've seen some, that do that. Yeah, they do. They will kidnap you. I don't like them getting too close. I told my daughter that too. Don't let them motherfuckers get too close to you, especially if it's, you see a car nearby or something. Don't do that. Yeah, he need a fire hose, high pressure wash. Just like, just look dusty. He just looked, his clothes, he looked ashy and he looked dusty. No, they don't care about how they look. They're about getting power over you. So that's like the women who you see, like I have some New York friends, they be like, nigga, fuck you. I mean, they're very vocal and very tough about it. They don't be minding it, but most women aren't like that. Most women are going to be kind of, intimidated by it. And, do like I said, they're going to adopt that, kind of rounded shoulder posture and look down and draw themselves in that self-protective manner because the guy is, they feel like he's a threat to them. So when you think about these dudes, though, and the fact that they think that because you look good, that they have the right to talk to you like that, what is that all about? Where did that come from? What do you guys think? Who told them that's, where did this originate? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who was the one who thought that this was a good idea and other idiots adopted that stupid behavior? Why do you think that women don't have the right to just walk down the street and be left alone? What is it that makes you feel like you have the right, it's your obligation, it's your duty to go and to harass women and try to hit on them and stuff in the street when they're going to and fro minding their own business? Has anybody read anything or heard anything about where this belief system originated? Because I was extremely, extremely curious. I just don't know. You don't have time for that in New York City? Well, that's good. Out here in Oakland, it's just so horrific, and it don't even matter. You could be like with another man, like with your husband, and they still gonna be trying to, holler and stuff. Niggas just have no respect at all. Just no respect. They don't respect themselves, and they don't respect women, and they don't respect other men either. And so that's what they think. Like, that's why they say, they understand, these guys don't understand why women like to be around thugs, because thugs make us feel safe. This is a perfect example, because you up there rolling up there with Rollo, Rollo who's got his gat on and he's like looking all mean mugged and stuff. He treats you nice. You guys go on great dates. He's cool. But, when you go out, he's looking at niggas like, what, motherfucker, what? And then the dudes, like, they bow down. They don't say nothing. They just give him that head nod thing. You know how niggas do? They get that head nod of respect, like acknowledging the dude, but no words come out their mouth because they see him with you and they know better. But, you over here with Poindexter and shit. And Poindexter, walking and stuff, they just gonna just come up, just stop right in front of both of you and punk dude out just because they know they can, because they know he's not gonna do nothing. That's why women don't like to be with you square ass, punk ass dudes that say, well, they only want to be with us after they all run through. Well, it's not that they're run through. It's that you need to like hit the gym and look like something. Get you some muscles and shit. Learn some martial arts. Do something so that when you go out in public with your woman or with any woman or even by yourself, you look like you a man who can handle some shit if some shit go down. So that's what women want. That's what makes them feel safe. And you don't look like you look like more like she gonna have to be protecting you and shit. Then what? It's when you with an older white man. That's true. I'm telling you, these are ratchet. These dudes around here are so ratchet. It's just not even funny. And it don't matter what age they are or you are either. You know, because I'm like this dude. I'm like the gas station, right? And this dude try to holler. I'm looking at him. I'm like, who is this child? And I'm looking. I said, how old are you? Oh, I'm 24. I said, you're younger than my daughter. What would I be doing with somebody like you? Well, I can show you a good time. I like older women. I'm like, boy, I have underwear older than you. Get out of here. And then he laughed. I mean, he took it in good spirit. He laughed and got in his car. But I'm like, why are you talking to me? What are you doing? You could be my child. That's just nasty to me. I don't want no man who's so young that he could be my child. That would be gross to me. And the fact that he's a year younger than my daughter, that was like ill. Like super ill. Like, ugh. Yeah, rotten teeth. Oh, it never ends. I mean, they just ugly. They're fat. They're old. They barely could walk. They feet and legs all swollen and shit. They sitting up there with all this meat spilled everywhere, looking like Jabba the Hutt with clothes on, and then sitting up there, and then we'll be trying to holler. It's like, boy, get your fat ass out of here. Oh my God. Yeah, they don't care what you're going to do. You joining MGTOW? We gonna have Black Woman Towel. I got to figure out what we gonna make our because I definitely want to change some stuff about how young women are conducting themselves financially, and that the goals that they have for themselves, having all these damn babies. Like today, I heard this dude. He's online, right? Oh wait, let me digress. Okay, some nigga started some page on Facebook talking about fuck child support, right? And I'm not promoting it. I'm merely telling you the name of the channel. Whatever, is it a channel? What do they call it on YouTube? Page. And I mean, Facebook is a page. Okay, so I do one of these people. Actually, I got several tags to go see this bullshit, right? So I look at it. I'm like, this is some ridiculous shit. He even had a video up talking about baby mamas coming up off of them and stuff. I'm like, nigga, keep your dick in your pants and you won't have that problem. So you probably got that because you was doing this street harassment shit and she bit and then you boned her and then you got a baby and now you mad. Yes, that's what we're going to have. That's what we're going to have. I got to think of some bylaws and stuff. But it's definitely got to be something where it's going to be the focus is going to change off of men, off of religion, and off of being pleasing and placating and nice to people. And you're going to start focusing on your damn selves. Because y'all is just doing some of these young women just be doing the most. So this dude writes on this same page. Anyway, that's why I'm telling you about the page. I forgot. I got distracted. He has an 18-year-old daughter who has been evidently lived away from her mama for a couple of years, dropped out of high school, and now has a baby. So he's up there, well, I'm still paying child support for her because whatever state they live in, you got to pay child support till the kid's 21. So they feel like the money should be going to the girl instead of to the mama. I'm like, no. She the one that had the baby, so that's her child support money. That don't have nothing to do with what the girl decided to do and have a baby and do all that stuff. And as your father, why are you being like all codependent, helping her provide for this baby? Where's that nigga that fucked her that made that goddamn baby? Make his ass come up with some money. Do something, get him in court and get him to tap his ass for child support. That's what you should be doing instead of being online complaining about the child support that you have to pay to the woman that you fucked and made a baby with. See, that's not how this works. And so they didn't like what I had to say, but exactly. You don't want no babies and child support, then keep it in your pants. That's what you need to do. But it's like that doesn't compute to them. Anything that has to do with them being accountable and responsible for their behavior, it doesn't compute. I don't know. I'm just kind of sick of it, really. Let's talk about another aspect of this. the guys who they want to be the center of your attention. Now, this street harassment part where they feel entitled is a component of it, but even if you're in a relationship with one of these types of dudes, because that mentality is the same. He wants attention. He wants attention from anywhere it can come. So if you're in a relationship with a guy like this, you have to constantly pay him attention. You got to constantly oh you got to constantly, be patting him up and calling him and texting him in 5.2 seconds after he texts you, and responding to all his calls, and baby honey, this and that, and you my king, and all this old shit they want to hear all the time, because that he wants to feel like he is the center of your world. He's more important to you than any of your friends, your mama, your kids, anything. And you see these guys that have resentful like that. When a woman has a child and she has to pay attention to the child, they want to hurt the kid. They're jealous of the child. They go out and cheat and stuff and talk about the child, and you always spend the time with that baby. What about me? Those are the kind of guys I'm talking about. They need to be the center of attention, whether you're in a relationship with them or whether it's on the street and they never saw you before. They want to be the center of attention. It's unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Now, what I was wondering is, why do these men not, instead of focusing on getting attention from random women, and they even do it online. Let me put that in there too. They do it online. Have you noticed? Like some woman will say something, oh, I love black men. It's my kings. They're all wonderful, this and that. All black men are this and that, blah, blah, blah. Niggas will come from thousands of miles away to be on that thread. Oh, it's so nice to see a sister who loves us, who acknowledges us, who cares about us. And it's like, you are that desperate for attention that you have to get it from a complete stranger on a website? See, no, there's something wrong with them. That's not normal. Where's your woman that you claim you have? Why isn't she giving you these kudos and strokes that you seem to need so desperately? So they just like flock to these women's pages and stuff. It was unbelievable. So I'm thinking that these guys would do better to focus on getting a woman to respect them than to pay them attention. Because someone paying you attention, they're treating you like a child. They're like your little bugaboo. They're not tripping about you being someone that they respect and admire. Why don't brothers focus more on that? That, I think, would be, it's a pick-me, but it's male pick-me's. And, they just come like congregate. Just like they congregate there, they're just so thirsty and hungry for this kind of validation, even from some words on a Facebook social media or something. It's just the most bizarre shit I've ever seen. I don't understand that. I don't understand it, but I see it over and over and over and over. And if you make any kind of critical remark, they'd be the first one. Well, not all men. I'm not like that. Okay, well then we ain't talking about you. Shut up, go sit down over there somewhere. We're talking about the ones that are. And if that's not you, just like about talking about 6'6", men who make it to $1 billion a year, that ain't you either. But I don't hear you over there talking about, well, not all men to that. So shut up. Oh my God, they get on my nerves. But, how about respect though? You always playing the victim. You always coming across as so needy. You always bragging about something, trying to posture and stuff and profile. You see them standing on the corner talking real loud about what they got or where they went or, something. They always got to be loud and, looking around to see who's looking at them and exaggerating that laugh, and bending all over and just slapping their legs. And, they got to run around and go, it's just like putting on this big show. Like, ain't nothing that funny that you guys got to run around the corner like that and then bend all over and flap your arms around and just act a zip damn fool. Have some kind of maturity and respect for yourself. I know I did say that in one of my videos. Kings of what? Kings of what, the bathroom? Because that's the only throne he's sitting on is the toilet. I did say that in one of my videos. I listened to it the other day. I was like, damn, you went in on dude. Yeah, this not all men thing gets on my nerves. And not all men are smart. Not all men have some goddamn sense. Not all men respect women. Definitely. I don't know. And then you have these guys, when they're like that and they want a lot of attention, these are the ones that will come back and forth on the comments and want to argue with women. Right? You guys be calling them out on the thing. I'm MGTOW. I'm going my own way. And you guys be busting them out right and left. Well, then what you doing here, motherfucker, on a woman's channel talking about you going your own way? And you keep coming back for more. So you guys be, you be busting them out. I don't even have to say anything. I just sit there and laugh. Because you be like, clowning them. But that's what they do. You know, they want to go back and forth on social media, arguing with women and trying to project like they also all of that. And that's why they went MGTOW, because they were so superior to women and all this kind of stuff. Or, you know, that's why they went and got a foreign bride because, you know, black women ain't this and black women ain't that. And this woman is so much better and blah, blah, blah. Then go be with your MGTOW people. Go be with your foreign bride. Nobody cares what you're doing. But they feel this need to come here and announce it because they want to get, you know, validation. They want to play. They want to push their agenda. Either they're looking for a compliment from the other dudes. Yeah, man, because that's what I had to do too. You know, man. Or they want to play that victim role, like, you know, they were so damaged, they were so hurt, that black women hurt them so much that this is why they had to do it, and it's all our fault. And that's why they're the way that they are, because of us. It's their fault. It's our fault, I mean. So let's wind this part up. Yeah, we're gonna do that black woman. Of course they're lurking. If they know better, don't come over here. Like, no one want to look at you. You just dusty. Go take a bath or something. Do something with yourself. And put on some lotion. You won't be ashy. Okay. How can men who are attention whores rein that shit in, right? How can you rein that shit in? First of all, think about where you got the message and who told you that this is what you should be doing to women on the street. Who told you that was a sensible and responsible and respectable thing for you to do? Okay, that is a ghetto hood rat nonsense. Now, you want to be perceived as a ghetto hood rat with stupid and thirsty, well, then continue with that behavior. Otherwise, rein that shit in and conduct yourself like you have some sense. So, talk through a translator app and make it come out in Chinese or something. That's a good idea. The first thing is, I think, for you guys, you need to figure out, I'm talking to the guys who are attention seekers. What is it that you're looking for? Okay, what is it that you really think is going to happen when you hollering at complete strangers on a rush to get to work and a rush to get to school, doing whatever they're doing, not feeling well, going to the doctor? I mean, these women have these lives, these situations in their life, right? They might be having cramps. They might just had a fight with somebody, argument. They're about to hold them back tears. You don't know what's going on with some woman that you hollering at on the street, and all you think about is yourself, okay? Very selfish. You think about yourself. So what you need to do is dig into yourself and figure out why you feel like you need to get attention from these women that you be hollering at. What is it that you're looking for to validate you from complete strangers? Why is your self-esteem so low? Why is your sense of manhood so fragile? What is it that you think these complete strangers that's gonna be passing through your life for that long is gonna bring to you? Really? I mean, have you guys really ever even thought about this at all? I mean, you doing a lot of it is just posturing because usually it's 2 or 3 of them together. And so they're showing off for their boys. Well, your boys ain't getting no pussy from this shit either. So y'all look there, all 2 or 3 of you standing there looking stupid. You putting on a show for each other. That's kind of gay. You know what I mean? It's like, really? And you think some woman is just going to be, oh my God, there's 3 of them and they're all hollering at women. I must have their bodies now. These hot, brilliant men, I must be with them. Said no woman ever. So, you look stupid. All right. So then the second thing that you must do is before you say something to a woman, sit there and say, okay, when is it that I want to do this the most? When is it that I feel like I just have to say something to these women? Is there a certain environment that I'm in? Is it when I'm feeling a certain kind of way? Is it, something going on? Well, yeah, I mean, when men play up to other men like that, I'm sorry, that's what that is. You ain't playing up to women, you playing up to other p-havers, okay? That p-havers and p-havers together is called a gay. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be a slur or nothing. I'm just saying this is the fact. When you trying to, impress another dude and you trying to, get on this other dude's side and it's something sexual involved, that shit is gay. That's just the way it is. So, I mean, I hope people understand where I'm coming from. This is not any kind of slur against gay men. I'm just saying if that's what you want to do, then go ahead and be that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you like. Like who you like, love who you love. But don't be mixing apples and oranges. You know, apples need to stay with apples then and then be happy. Okay, so figure out, what's going on with you. Is there some issue, some trigger, some thing you around certain friends, you at certain locations? What is it that makes you want to do that behavior and get all in women's faces and think that you need to holler at women and do all this stuff? What is it that you think is motivating you to do that? And the third thing is, why don't you guys, when you see that this is negative behavior, I mean, you know that this is retarded behavior, why do you keep doing it? And you see that that's what's going on with yourself. Why can you not flip that around into something positive? Instead of hanging out on the streets bothering women, go into your house and get on the internet and take a class or something. I mean, do something positive with that time and energy that's going to advance you and make you a better man. Go to the gym and work out. Take a class in woodworking. Take a class in web design. A lot of stuff is offered free at community colleges. You just have to sign up. Or city little training courses and stuff they have. It might be $50 or something like that, but it's such a benefit for you to spend that time that you would spend hanging out hollering at women on doing something to advance yourself. This is the part about MGTOW that I did like, which is what got my attention for it about it, is the focus on making, bringing to men's attention that they need to focus on themselves and develop themselves as men. That I'm 100% behind that. But then, they took a left turn and went down a cliff somewhere, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what you're talking about now. And then the last thing is, if you guys could please try, because you men, these egocentric men are very good about understanding how someone else's behavior impacts them, how it hurts them, how it makes them feel bad, how it makes them feel unwanted or unloved or angry. Oh, they can see that just crystal clear. But why don't you try a little harder to see how what you're doing is impacting the women that you're doing it to? Open your eyes. If you can't see that, well, then talk to some women. Talk to some women friends. Talk to some female coworkers, and get them to explain this to you, and see how, ask them to honestly tell you how they feel, and what, how anxious they get when men approach them like that and say those kind of things to them. That's the only way that you're gonna grow as men. You got to do some work on yourself. You can't just go through life doing the same thing that you've done when you were 14 or 16 or 20 for the rest of your life. That's not growth, dudes. That's not growth. That's a stagnant man. And you will never be a better man. You will never be the man that you could be unless you look inside yourself, look at the things that you've been told about manhood, and examine why you believe them and what is getting you. I don't see any man who's getting any benefit from standing around the corners hollering at women. It's not making you no money. It's not giving you no, advanced degree. It's not doing shit for you. Nothing. It's just wasting time. And as black people, we don't have time to waste. Y'all need to get it and get your shit straight. So anyway, that's what I have to say on that. It's really sad that so many women are negatively impacted by this kind of behavior. But, I'm hoping that my explanation of how it affects women will hit at least some dudes in ear and make them think, well, wow, I never really thought about how I said how it impacts women and how it makes them feel. Maybe I could start being a little more observant. Keep an eye out. Like if you're on public transportation and you see a dude hollering at a woman, just sometimes people think that they're a couple because he's standing all close to her, talking to her and stuff. And she might have a tense smile on her face, but you'll notice that the conversation is one-sided. It's him talking to her and her looking off in the distance or looking down. She's not really giving him eye contact. That's how you know they're not together, and dude is harassing her. And, look at her face. Look at her body language and think, okay, when I do that, this is how women feel when I do that shit too. Why do I do that to women like that? And you claim that you love women. You have a mama, you have sisters, but you treat somebody else's mama or sister like that. Come on now. You can do better. You need to do better. You need to do better. Yes, MGTOWs don't want to come. They don't want to go their own way. They just keep coming here. They keep coming here. I don't know. But, oh, come on now. That's what I have to say on that. I don't know if you guys have any comments that you want to make. I will be happy to respond to your questions for a few minutes. We got, Tuesday is coming up. Tell It Tuesday will be coming up. That's where we do the advice questions and that people have sent in. I do that on Tuesdays. And then on Thursday, we do Topic Thursday. Tough Topic Thursday, that's what it's called, Tough Topic Thursday. And then on Saturdays, I'm on Twitch. Now, I may pop up at any other time. There's no telling when I'm going to show my face. So you should become a subscriber at your earliest opportunity, and you'll click the little symbol that's down there in the corner right there, the little heart, and you can become a subscriber there on YouTube, and we'll be happy to meet up with you. If someone has a question, it's off topic. Well, I'll take a couple of questions. I'll stick around for a few minutes. What's going on? Let me take a swig of my beverage. This is really good. What are we having today? Oh, today we're having mango. Mango essence LaCroix. This is my favorite drink. What kind of setting would approaching a woman be okay? In the club? Oh, any environment where it is set up for socialization. Any environment. Okay, parties, clubs, meetups, networking events, I don't know, chamber of commerce meetings, weddings, whatever. Any kind of social event where people are there and everyone is there in a social environment where this kind of talking and getting to know each other kind of stuff is expected, is a part of the event. People know that that's what's going to be going on there. Everyone is there and open to that. Now, there may be some married people there. They might just want to talk to you. They ain't going to give you their number and all that stuff because they have a husband or a wife. So, but still, everyone is there to socialize, meet, greet, have a good time talking to and laughing with other individuals. That is the prime location for meeting someone. Saying like college campuses are also good, or adult campuses, adult schools that people go to. Again, it's someone to be a situation where you see a person over and over again in a setting where conversation is encouraged. You get to interact with this person. You might not holler at them the first time or two, but say you take a class and every Wednesday night you see this woman. Okay, well, about after a month or so of seeing this woman every Wednesday night, you guys have the lunch break and you talk, and you have the intermission break or whatever, then you talk. And then you guys might be in a work group together, or a study group, or whatever they call it, project group together. That's a perfect opportunity. Jump on that shit. Especially if she's been laughing and smiling and talking to you in a pleasant and open way. That's a clue that, she would be open to it. Now, you don't know what's going on in her personal life. She might already have a man or whatever. You hopefully during your exchanges, you would have found that out before you move forward. But those are some environments that I'm telling you, it's 100% fine for you to do that. Where should you not do that? At the hospital, someone's sick. At the doctor's office, someone's sick. Just walking up and down the street, no. Don't do that. It's not good. But you have all these other options now, Even in the grocery store. One time this guy, this dude was fine. I was like, wait, let me say something to him. So he saw him looking at the pastas, and he was trying to figure out which one to get. And I said, are you trying to figure out which one to get? Would you like a recommendation? And he says, oh, yes, So I told him about Barilla Plus. That's my favorite. That's the only pasta I really like to use. And it has beans in it, so it's very high protein. It's a good pasta. And so I told him about that. They have a bunch of different kinds. And so I told him about the texture. It's very similar to regular pasta. You won't even know the difference, but you get extra protein. And he looked like he worked out and stuff. So he's like, wow, I've never heard of this before. And he was grinning at me. And honey, that little white boy was fine as hell. I'm telling you, it was some amazing, miraculous stuff. And he had that long kind of curly hair. He had it in a ponytail. And he had like his tank top on and stuff. And I was like, oof. I'm just a dirty old woman. But that's what I'm saying. It's just that easy to talk to somebody. You don't have to be coming up at them like you all thirsty. You just come at them like a normal person. I just talked to him as a human being. And I saw him looking like he was probably trying to figure out, like how old I was or whatever. But I'm telling you, if I had been 10 years younger, I would have been so all over that. That shit would have been like on like Donkey Kong. Because like I said, he was looking, and he was like, and he kept asking me like follow-up questions. So he was dragging the shit out, you know what I mean? So like, Any other questions? I hope that answers your question. It's just a matter of, respecting people's space and time. A 76-year-old dude approached me at the hospital, and his wife was there, paralyzed from a stroke. No, see, he would have got cussed out. Just nasty. That's just disgusting. It's called Barilla Plus, though. Well, I mean, the plain Barilla's good, too. But Barilla Plus is the one. It's slightly brown in color. And if you read the ingredients on the back, it has beans in it. And so it has a very nice, firm texture and like double the protein of regular pasta. And it's lower on the, what's that index, the carb index? Because of the bean protein. So it's much better for diabetics. It's because you don't take that hit right away of the carbs. It's a much slower digesting carbohydrate. Is it fake to stop associating with a friend who deals with toxic and abusive relationships? Is it fake? No. Why should you continue to deal with a toxic and abusive relationship via her fucked up ass? No. See, I mean, Deb is very self-protective. Now, I'm your friend, and I'm going to see that you in a situation, okay? Now, once we talk about the situation and, we kind of arrive at some possible solutions for you to extricate yourself from this situation and move on, but you fail to do it, and you want to still keep bending my arm about how you're being abused and how toxic it is, see, I'm going to tell you straight to your face, I don't want to hear that shit. Because we already talked about this, and you opted to stay there, which means that you think that is better to deal with that than it is to get out, and I don't want to hear it. What do you do when your husband is addicted to football? Tell him for every football game that he watches and you don't get his attention that you want a new outfit. Then by the time football season is over, you will have a whole new wardrobe and you will be fly as hell, and it won't be shit he can do about it. That's what you do. Give me your credit card, honey. Give me some money. I need shoes to go with the dress I bought last week when you were watching football. That's what you have to do. You can't take girls like that, to be honest. I tell them to stop bringing it up. Yeah, you don't need to do that. You have the right to have your boundaries. And, no matter how good of a friend the person is, a family member or that you love and everything, at a certain point, you have to tell them, I don't really want to hear about this. We talked about it. We suggested for ways for you to get out of the situation. But the fact that you opted to stay in there, I don't understand why you want to keep abusing yourself. But that is your choice. You've grown or whatever. But I have the right to make a choice not to hear it. See, I don't want to be involved in it. And that's your right. She has a right to stay, but you have the right to not be bothered. And so that's what you got to do. You digmatize, I can't help you. I ain't met a dick that'll make me digmatize yet. Of course, it's not too late, but I think I've had plenty of options and still haven't had that. They good, but each one is better than the last, so I'm on a quest to find the magic stick. You know, I don't know what to say about all that. Now, you all talking all that hoodoo shit. I don't know about all that. I'm just saying, but there's a lot of women who that must be their issue. Even though they don't say that that's what their issue is, but that must be it. You know? Because they stay in some shit. They be bothered some bullshit that I just couldn't be bothered with. So you guys, I wanted to, to close out the show, and I want to tell you too, if you have a suggestion for topics, feel free to write to me at survivingdating@gmail.com. Let me know what your idea is for the topic, and if you're somebody that you want to recommend, like an expert to interview or something, to provide me with their contact information. Be back here on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, because that's where we're gonna do Tell It Tuesday relationship advice. I will see you guys then. Talk to you later. Bye bye.